Alright, well, I've been kind of sitting on Dragonmaid core for a little while, and a couple months ago, they got announced that they were getting new support. Um, and I have kind of been just testing how to play the deck for a little while now that the new support is out, and it's really not that bad. It's actually, I think it's pretty good. But alongside with Dragonmaid, another archetype, Dragon Ruler, also got some new support, and the two decks being both elemental based decks that are also dragons, they kind of just seem to mesh pretty well together. So I have been trying to work with making a Dragonmaid Dragon Ruler deck. I kind of just call it Maid Rulers. And I think I kind of have a list down pretty well. I do have a few proxies in this deck that I will explain, what the card is, and if I decide to edit the video, I'll have a pop-up of the card and the text of it. So you're just not looking at a different card. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So for the main deck, so far, the list is playing 3 Chamber. It's pretty much just one of the best normal summons. Basically all the Dragonmaids, I max out Chamber and Parlor because I think they're the best, and then so far I think playing 1 Kitchen is pretty good. Chamber searches for one of your spells or traps. Parlor will Foolish Burial a Dragonmaid card, and then Kitchen will add a Dragonmaid monster, and then you have to discard a Dragonmaid monster. These all become 1-card combos for what Dragonmaid can do now. And then they each have the effect where at the start of the battle phase they can bounce back to your hand and then summon a Dragonmaid monster with a certain level, which might come up sometimes, but maybe not as, it might not be very useful. But for the high level ones, I play 1 Lorpar, 1 Tinkek, and one of the proxies is, I believe it's called Dragonmaid Stern, which it is basically a, you can discard it and target, it doesn't target, you special summon a Dragonmaid monster that's in your graveyard or banishment. And that's pretty good because they kind of just throw themselves into the graveyard. So just having graveyard and banishment revival is really good, especially with the new fusion monster that came out. It's each at 1 because Parlor can send its other copy to the grave directly from the deck. Kitchen can search it and then discard it. Chamber is a bit interesting because, well, now they finally have the dragon form of it. It works better with one of the spells you can search. So that's it for the monster. I'm debating whether or not I should play more copies of Kitchen, just because the more 1-card starters you can open, the better, but sometimes you don't want to open too many. For the spell cards, 3 Hospitality, and then 1 Changeover, and just 1 trap card being the Dragonmaid Tiding. So the Hospitality, you special summon 1 from hand or graveyard, and then you send a Dragonmaid with a higher level, but with the same attribute. So what you do with this, basically summon Chamber off of Hospitality, and then you send the high level version from deck to grave, which it's pretty good just because it lets you, it either baits for hand traps or it checks for hand traps, and if this card is most likely going to be ashed, or whatever. So if you already have like one of your Dragonmaids in hand, you can activate this. If it gets interrupted, okay, normal summon the Dragonmaid and do the little combo. Changeover is basically their polymerization. If it's in the grave, you can target a Dragonmaid monster you control, return the target to the hand, and then put this back in your hand. And luckily it doesn't banish itself after you use that effect, so each turn you can bounce a Dragonmaid, add this to your hand, and then fusion summon. And you don't have to fusion summon a Dragonmaid monster, you just have to fusion a dragon fusion monster. And then the trap card is a quick effect, bounce a dragon you control and a card your opponent controls. And then if it's in the grave, it's a banish to monster reborn. So very small, relatively small Dragonmaid engine. Basically with, like I said, any one of these or this plus one of these just becomes these become a 1-card combo. These are like 1.5, I guess. So for the Dragon Ruler aspect of the deck, one of their support cards that is really good is I believe it is called Spectre Dragon Ruler of Light, and you play 3 of those. It is a level 2 light dragon that says you can discard and a light or dragon monster to add 2 Dragon Ruler monsters from deck to hand except another copy of itself. So basically, discard itself and a hand trap like Valor or Nibiru or Ghost Ogre. Search 2 Dragon Rulers. Discard itself and a Dragonmaid that you don't need. Search 2 Dragon Rulers. It's just really good because it gets you... This card by itself is like full end board, I think. Well, not by itself, you need a discard obviously, but it's just a really good card. So 3 of Spectre. I'm thinking with this list, it's a good idea to play 3 Tempest and 1 Lightning. With Tempest, we have main deck wind monsters, such as, copies of itself, 3 Parlor, and 1 Lorpar. So, you know, by discarding itself and another wind monster, you can search any dragon. So that gets you, you know, discard 2, search this, discard, search more. It just gets you a lot of materials to use. So I think it might be a pretty good idea to play 3 Tempest. And I play the 1 Lightning because with the new Exceed support that Dragon Rulers gets, it's recurable, so you just basically need the 1. And then basically the rest are 2 Blaster, 1 Burner, 2 Tidal, 1 Stream, and 2 Redox, and 1 Reactin. These guys get better at doing what they like. Activating their effects are better with another of their Exceed monsters that were announced. Basically, I'll explain it later. But they just become a lot better. And then just a 1 of Gold Sarcophagus, just because you banish 1, you basically get to search anything you need. Like you banish Blaster, you can search Kitchen. You banish a Tempest, you can search Parlor. Unfortunately, the new Light and Dark monsters aren't main deck, so you can't go banish this or activate this, banish one of them, and search a Light or Dark Dragon. But it doesn't really matter because those cards are good. For hand traps, 3 Ash Blossom, with Spectre being able to discard a light, 3 Valor, and 2 Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. The deck is at 40, So I'm thinking you could probably play 3 of this just to max out your chances to open Tempest into Wind. Or if you really want to, you could cut this or put it, I don't think you really side Ghost Mourner, and play 3 Nibiru just as a maybe stronger hand trap. But that is it for the main deck. For the extra deck, I have 2 Shiyu. Basically, it is a Omni Negate, and then by shuffling her back into the extra deck for the Omni Negate effect, you shuffle her back to summon out House Dragonmaid, which is her human counterpart. And then during the standby phase, you can special summon a Dragonmaid from your hand or graveyard, which is really good because it's just been really good in testing. One of the proxies I have is 2, I believe it's called Ladies Dragonmaid, which basically is a contact fuse using 2 Dragonmaid monsters with different levels but same attribute. You banish 1 from field and 1 from grave, and then on special summon, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Dragonmaid from your deck, which is really good. And the reason why the little Dragonmaids become 1-card combos is because, you know, normal summon Parlor effect send lower par from deck to grave, contact fuse using those 2 by banishing them. Summon this effect, summon Chamber Search. It's just really good. And then during the standby phase, you can fusion summon a Dragon Fusion by shuffling the materials from your field or banishment back into the deck. So she is also material recursion, which is really good. And then for the last of the Dragonmaid fusions, I play 1 house. I think you don't need to play 2 of this simply because with Ladies, you can just put her back in the extra deck for fusion material. So you can, if you still have her on field, you can go, if she's banished or on field, you go effect fusion, shuffle house back into the extra deck, and level 5 or higher dragon, and then just make another Shiyu, which is really good. Yeah, I think you can just play 1 of this and get away with it. And then the last fusion, it's not a Mirror Jade, but it is another fusion monster called Forbidden Princess of the Fairy Dragons. And basically what it does is during the main phase, either main phase, you can quick effect banish a target and banish a card on your opponent's field or in their graveyard. And then if you banish a card from their field, you have to return a dragon, I believe it says from your field to the hand. Yeah, a dragon you control to the hand. And then at the start of your opponent's battle phase, if she's in the graveyard, you can bounce a dragon to your hand or extra deck and then special summon her. She's basically an honorary Dragonmaid card. By everything except name. Yeah, that's the fusions. For the Xyz, these are Dragon Ruler cards, so I guess I could just do it like this to make it less confusing. 2 copies of Chasmatism, Dragon Ruler of Auroras, I believe that's the TCG name. Basically 2 level 7 dragon monsters uses to make it. And then you can only use each effect once per turn. You can, as a quick effect, send a level 7 Dragon Ruler monster from your deck to the grave and detach a material from the card. And Chasmatism's effect becomes the effect of the Dragon Ruler that it gets when it discards itself and another card. So basically you go Blaster, discard Ash Blossom, target card on the field to destroy it. It copies that discard effect of the Dragon Ruler. So if you detach 1 and send a Tempest, you can search for a dragon. If you detach one, send Redox, you can Monster Reborn a card, Title, Foolish Burial, and Blaster pop a card. It's really good. And then the second effect says, if this card is destroyed by a battle, or if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon a level 7 Dragon Ruler from your grave or banishment. So it replaces itself. It floats. There we go. I figured it out. It floats. Yeah, really good card. This is the card that makes the Dragon Rulers better, because you can still special summon them and get their effects. Next is the, let's see, Eclipse's Dragon Ruler of Woes. And what this guy does is 2 level 7 dragon monsters. First and second each effect once per turn. If this card is Exceed summoned, you can target a level 4 lower dragon ruler in your graveyard or banishment. So basically, one of the babies, like Lightning, Burner, Redox. You can special summon 1 level or rank 7 dragon ruler mentioned on it from your deck or banishment, then shuffle the target back into the deck. So basically, if you have Burner in your grave or banished, you can shuffle Burner back in to summon Blaster. And then when your opponent activates a spell, trap card, or effect, quick effect detach 2 to negate the activation and banish the card. So it puts bodies on board, and it's a spell, trap, negate, and banish the card, which is pretty good. I think you can play a Blaze, Supreme Ruler of all Dragons, simply because, well, it's kind of a dragon ruler. And basically what it does is you detach material to pop a card from your hand or field, and 1 card on your opponent's field. And then if it's engraved, you can banish up 2 dragon and or fire monsters to special summon it, but put it back on the deck. Put it back in the extra deck when it leaves the field. The pop effect is not a hard once per turn. It's actually soft. So if you summon this, do the effect, pop 2, you can pop itself and another card your opponent controls. Banish 2 from grave, special summon it, use it as link material if you need to, and then if you put 2 more level 7 bodies on field, you can make this guy again and pop more cards, which is pretty good. I think it's one of the flex spots of the extra deck. I think it's kind of tight with what you can put in, but as the cards come out and more testing is done, there would probably be a more solidified list. Another proxy, it's going to be the last proxy of the deck profile, and this guy is Disaster Dragon Ruler of Extremes, and this guy is a little crazy because what he does is he takes 2 rank 7 monsters. So you put the new light attribute Xyz monster and then a dark attribute Xyz monster on the field. You overlay those 2 to make this guy. And I know it's a little confusing with all the glare, so I do apologize about that. But basically what he does is, if he is Exceed summoned, you can target up to 4 level 7 Dragon Ruler monsters that's in your graveyard or banishment, attach them to this card as Exceed material. Then you can banish all monsters your opponent controls and in their graveyard with the same attribute as the monsters attached to this card. So basically, you overlay this with a light and dark. You get to banish all light and dark monsters your opponent has on field or in grave. Or, if you go overlay with the light and dark, attach Blaster, Tempest, Tidal, and Redox under this guy, plus the light and darks, you basically banish everything that they have. Just whatever attributes they have in grave. If you attach all 4 of the OG Dragon Rulers, you banish all monsters in their grave, which is kind of crazy. And then he says if he has a light, dark, earth, water, fire, and wind dragon ruler under him as material, he gains 4,600 attack and defense, and he becomes a tower. He becomes unaffected by other cards' effects, which is kind of insane. It's a pretty good OTK enabler on, not OTK, it sets up your ability to get rid of your opponent's life points next turn, because if you set up enough interruptions and you still have the light and the dark Xyz dragon rulers, and you still got all your original dragon rulers in grave, it becomes just it's most likely game if you summon that guy, which is pretty cool. See, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn these over. And then last of the Xyz monsters is a Volo for Nijas, the Darkest Dragon Doom Rider. Basically, he detaches 2 to pop a monster on the field, or destroy a card on the field, and then if you destroyed a monster, you can target one other monster you control to make it gain the attack of the monster that was destroyed. So it's kind of just good removal if you just need something. And then Link monsters are pretty simple so far. 1 SP, 1 Hieratic Seals, and 1 Striker Dragon. SP can be used to combo sometimes, so it's useful, and you don't really lock yourselves into dragon monsters. So if you really need like some kind of monster, you can go Link Summon SP, banish Dragon Ruler Search, and you can go on from there. And then Seals is Seals, and Striker Dragon just likes to make SP. But it also helps you play a combo if you only open Chamber. And I guess I can go ahead and show just what the deck can do. So just starting off with Chamber, glare is really bad, as always. So what you do is you go ahead and normal summon your Chamber Dragonmaid, use the effect to search for a spell or trap card. You add the you link 1 into Striker Dragon, you activate the Hospitality, summon out the Chamber, and then send your copy of Stern from deck to grave, and then you banish these 2 to fusion summon into your Lady Dragonmaid, and then her effect will go off. You summon the deck is backwards right now. You summon Parlor from deck. Parlor's effect activates. You can search for Tidying for a bounce, or if you want to make the Omni negate before you go to your opponent's turn, you can search for Changeover. No, you send a Changeover to grave, do effective Changeover, target Parlor to bounce it back to hand, and then you can activate Changeover to fusion summon into Dragonmaid Yugioh, which, it's probably going to have you keep a body on board, which would be fine. But then you go past turn, during your opponent's standby phase, you go Yugioh effect, special summon Ladies back from the graveyard, and then into the standby phase, Ladies effect, put it back in the extra deck, and then shuffle Stern back into the deck to summon out the banish 1 from field or grave Dragon Fusion. So Chamber by itself can do a lot, but it's just in combination with the Dragon Ruler stuff, if you open it, is pretty good. So hopefully the list was interesting. Let me know what you guys think and what would you add to the deck, or what would you change. Yeah, that should be about it. I'll see you.